Folks, I saw two videos, and the videos both have pretty much gone viral. And I'm going to play both of the videos so that you can see what happened. In the first video, it's going to demonstrate that police don't know the laws that they are charged with enforcing. And they believe, in my opinion, that whatever they think is the way that it's supposed to go. There's no room for interpretation. There's no room for them to be informed that they are making a mistake. It's their way or the highway. Now, in this first video, it's basically the police officer in Utah who arrested a nurse, and he had been informed by the nurse of the fact that he was attempting to ask her to perform an illegal act, which she refused. The second one is of that police officer who basically had detained a woman suspected of drunk driving and indicated that she was in no mortal danger because they only kill black people. Here we go with both of the videos.
The disturbing video comes from the inside of an emergency room, and the woman screaming, a burn unit nurse who is being arrested by a Salt Lake City police officer.
Please, sir, you're afraid. Then walk.
The incident, captured by police and hospital cameras, happened in July. But now the district attorney says he wants a criminal investigation.
Yes, she does. Salt Lake City Police.
University of Utah nurse Alex Wubbles says she was just doing her job, following hospital protocol by refusing to let police take a blood sample from an unconscious patient.
Is this patient under arrest?
Nope. Wubbles says Detective Jeff Payne demanded a blood sample from a car crash victim who was in a coma and severely burned. His truck smashed by a car racing from police, according to local media. Wubbles calmly explains the policy for obtaining blood.
The three things that allow us to do that are if you have an electronic warrant, patient consent, or patient under arrest. And neither of those things, the patient can't consent.
She even gets her supervisor on the phone, who backs her up. The tension only escalates.
She's the one that has told me no.
Yes, sir, you're making a huge mistake right now.
Okay. No, we're done.
All right, so the cop who was told exactly what the law was and what the requirements were, but he didn't give a damn. He felt like his authority was being challenged. So, of course, he had to bum rush the nurse and arrest her. Now, let's continue on.
We're done. You're under arrest. We're going. We're done.
Salt Lake City's police chief apologized and said what happened was unacceptable.
I was alarmed by what I saw in the video. I want to be very clear. We take this very seriously.
See, now that's a bunch of crap, because the video clearly showed what that guy did. But what ended up happening here is they put that officer, and if you note, there was another officer, I guess his partner with him, they put them both on administrative leave. Now, he should have been fired immediately, and the other officer should have been disciplined, because he stood by and allowed it to happen. And you know damn well he was standing there when the law was explained, and he should have put this partner over to the side and said, hey, you know, maybe we need to call somebody to get a full ruling on this thing. But no, there was no brokering of any type of restraint or double checking to make sure that he was right. There was no danger in this particular situation. The only thing that that officer had to utilize was time, okay, which he had plenty of, in order to check. And as it turned out, the nurse was released about approximately 20 minutes later. Okay, and if I were her, I would have sued. But anyway, let me continue this particular clip. You can see for yourself.
For now, Wubbles isn't filing a lawsuit.
I feel very strongly in giving people the benefit of the doubt. And I truly believe that he was honest in his apology and sincere in his willingness to try and make change and make things better.
Police released Wubbles without charges that day after she sat in the police car for 20 minutes. Detective Payne said in a written report that his watch commander advised him to arrest the nurse for interfering with a police investigation. Payne and another officer now on administrative leave as internal investigators look into this startling incident. Dan Simon, CNN.
All right, so if he truly, in fact, called his watch commander and his watch commander advised him to arrest her, then his watch commander needs to be suspended as well. But again, this is just an example of police officers enforcing laws when they really don't even know what the laws require. Now I'm going to jump to the next video, and this one to me was almost as egregious, except there was no physical action taken against anyone, but it just lets you know what may or may not be in the hearts and minds of police officers out there. Hold on one sec.
Remember, we only kill black people.
A police officer recorded on a patrol car camera making what many say was a racist remark has retired before he could be fired.
The recommendation is to terminate his employment.
The police chief of the Georgia town announced his plans to terminate Lieutenant Greg Abbott after this video of the 28-year veteran of the department surfaced.
Use your phone. It's in your lap right there.
I just don't want to put my hands down. I'm really sorry.
You just look at you on.
No. I've just been wasting any videos.
But you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right? All the videotapes see, right? Big deal.
The woman heard in the video was a passenger in the car that was pulled over for suspected drunk driving. The attorney representing the driver who was pulled over and sentenced to probation in the DUI case said in a statement to InsideEdition.com, "We are very happy about the response the Cobb County Police Department took. It was great leadership, and it's great they're taking the situation seriously. This will help in restoring the trust in the police department." The police chief.
But he made a mistake. I don't know what's in his heart, but I certainly know what came out of his mouth. And it's inexcusable, and we have to take appropriate action.
Abbott's lawyer says his comments in the video aren't being viewed in their full context. He says Lieutenant Abbott was, quote, attempting to de-escalate a situation involving an uncooperative passenger, using the passenger's own statements and reasoning. For InsideEdition.com.
All right, so again, the attorney is full of crap only because, yeah, and I do believe that the officer was in fact trying to de-escalate the situation. But you heard the full video and audio response from the officer. He was using something that he believed would work, okay, but he was also revealing what he believed the prevailing attitude of police officers is, which is we kill black people. So in one case, the previous video, you had two officers suspended or put on administrative leave. They're not even suspended, they're just put on administrative leave. But in this case, because of public perception, obviously, and the video with racist words coming out of the police officer's own mouth, the appropriate action was taken, which was to start the proceedings to fire this guy. Now, whether he was actually fired or resigned, you know, there are conflicting accounts of how that went down. But again, you got two white women, as a matter of fact, being accosted or, I guess, stopped by police. One case, there was physical confrontation, and not even confrontation. The guy physically attacked the nurse. And in this case, the police officer basically tried to calm this particular person down by stating a fact. We kill black people. Folks, it doesn't get much more clear than that. And there are numerous examples of cops basically telling the truth as far as how they deal with and treat black people when they have situations. And you could see how they deal with white people when they have situations. This needs to be addressed across the country. Now, I will say finally that we have no idea what these police officers are doing around the country. I say that because they keep various records within the individual police departments on what goes on. There's also a federal requirement for police to report any shootings or killings by police officers. But the majority, let me back up because I don't know that to be a fact. I do know that a large number of police departments do not report the statistics on how or when a police shooting and killing is involved to the federal government. And the federal government does not hold their feet to the fire as far as making it a hard requirement for them to do so in order to receive federal funds. That, folks, needs to change. Anyway, just my thoughts on it. I've been thinking about it for a while and I decided to do a video on it. If you like, subscribe, share, etc., etc., etc.